Hey lovelies, welcome to another video. I honestly don't even know where to start with this video, so bear with me. So basically let's just kind of take it from the beginning. I think that would be the best way for me to be able to tell you guys everything I want to tell you. I really just feel the need to talk with you guys and share what is going on with you guys because I'm currently in limbo. We don't have all the answers yet, and that's just, it's hard. So let's take it from the top and just kind of explain to you guys what has been going on. So exactly 2 weeks ago, today is Wednesday as I'm filming this, exactly 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday, we went in to do our 20-week anomaly scan, as you would do. I thought I was feeling a little bit wary, I was feeling a little bit unsure, because 20-week scans is like, it's the one scan where if there is something wrong, that is probably when you will see it. So I was a bit wary going into the scan. The girl who did the scan for us, the sonographer, or tech, either way, what we call her tech, be easier for me. The tech was a young girl, not as experienced, I realized as we progressed, but she was nice. I liked her. She was very polite, she was very nice. She started the scan, you know, in a nice way, chatting away, explaining to me what she was looking at. We saw a baby, we saw, you know, heartbeat and all that stuff. And then she started getting a little bit uneasy, a little bit flustered even. Like she was starting to kind of lose that calm and cheerful kind of, you know, she just started like unraveling a bit. And I started feeling uneasy myself because I could tell that she was constantly looking at the same images, constantly going back to the heart, going back and forth, saying that baby's moving a lot and she can't get the picture she wants. So she was moving back to the rest of the body. She was able to get everything else she needed, and yet she kept going back to the heart and looking at it and taking photos and trying, and just and the more she was looking at the heart, the more I feel she was getting uneasy, and just she stopped talking, she stopped talking to me altogether and just stared at the screen and just, yeah, I started getting very uneasy. I knew something was wrong, and she was getting more and more flustered as the time was going by. It took us, I believe, almost an hour in there for her to try and get the images, and she kept like repeating herself, saying, oh, I just need a few more images, I haven't gotten all the images. And I just started losing a lot of faith in her ability to actually do the scan, because I was like, why is this so hard? Like, what is going on? So what happened at the end of that scan was that she actually told us to wait because she was a little bit unsure in regards to a few of the scans, and she just wanted to double check by asking another sonographer who was pretty much above her, she was more experienced, etc., to ask her opinion as well in regards to the scans in case she needed to do them again. So we were like, okay. Of course, at this point, you start thinking, like, all the scenarios start going through your head, and you're kind of like, this is not going to be good, is it? So this is not as easy as, yeah, okay. So we waited for about probably half an hour while she spoke with this other sonographer on the phone and showed her the images and kind of went over and over and over again. And she finally came out and told us that we would have our report by next week, by the following week, because they were backed up. And this was a Wednesday, and she said that we would probably get them by Monday, and that there was a possibility that we would have to do a tertiary ultrasound. So that is an ultrasound performed at a hospital by a doctor. Because apparently there was, like, yeah, I'm out of breath. Sorry, guys. So we left. We left kind of with the feeling that, you know, there might be something up, but I also doubted her experience. I doubted her level of, like, reading the scans. Like, I just had my doubts because of the way she reacted. In hindsight, I think it was probably her first time seeing something along these lines, and that's why she was reacting that way. She just wasn't sure how to handle the situation. She wasn't sure how to not show her, like, how flustered she was, how upset she was, how unsure she was, and how not to tell me things. Because usually texts don't tell you anything. The doctor is the one to tell you what's going on. So she gave us more information than they would normally give us. The next day, we went home. The next day, I actually got a phone call from the same tech, and she asked me to go into another branch of theirs, another location within the same company to get another scan done. She said that they had booked me in with a very experienced sonographer in obstetric ultrasounds specifically, and that it was best that we get a second opinion just to be sure that everything was okay. So she kind of prepared what she was going to say, I think. So Wednesday was our first scan. Friday we went in for our second scan. The second scan was done indeed by someone way more experienced. The images were way clearer. Just the way she performed the entire thing, like, she was awesome. I absolutely loved her. She made me feel a lot better than she should have, I think, because she made me feel that everything was okay. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to tell you anything or let you know anything. She was very, she was just, you know, chatting with me about other things and getting the images she needed. She wasn't letting on like any other emotion and like nothing. Like, she was way more experienced and knew exactly what she was doing. So I am glad that I had the best sonographer they had in the place, but at the same time, yeah, I think she set me up for a little more disappointment than I would have had if she had actually said, yes, these scans are also showing what the previous one did. So she did promise me though, at that moment, that the results would be out within the next 2 to 3 hours and I would see my doctor on the day, that she would not let me wait the entire weekend and Monday, and like, because she understood my, you know, as a mother herself, she just understood what I was going through and didn't want to add that stress of me not knowing and just waiting and all that. So indeed, 3 hours later, we were at our doctor's, the normal GP, to get the results, thinking that it's going to be okay. You know, she didn't look, like, the sonographer didn't look anxious, she didn't look worried, everything would be fine. We just, I suppose you convince yourself of what you want. Like, we wanted everything to be okay, so we convinced ourselves that it was going to be okay based on how she reacted. Anyway, I'm going to start getting emotional now, aren't I? Lovely. So we went to the GP that same evening, and she looked at our results and she said, so basically, there is something wrong with baby girl's heart. That's what it looks like at this stage. You'll be given a referral. She gave us the referral. She set it up, all the papers, everything we needed, for a tertiary ultrasound at a fetal diagnostic unit at another hospital, because the hospital that I am currently booked in does not offer that. So we set up the referral, and she told us that there was what appeared to be a right-sided aortic arch on baby girl's heart. So that just kind of like, I had no idea what that was. I was kind of like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, what if she has that? What would that? So at that stage, I believe our GP wasn't really 100% sure. I think she maybe went to the worst scenario straight away, or maybe she was confused herself. I don't know. Her immediate information in that moment to both of us as parents was that this could be very, very serious. You could go to the scan and it could just be nothing, or you could go and it could mean surgery as soon as she is born, because the RAA, which is the right-sided aortic arch, could lead to problems in regards to oxygen going into the bloodstream and to the organs and so many things. She basically terrified us beyond imagination, telling us that there was something very seriously wrong with our baby's heart, and that we wouldn't really know until we had the other scan, and that there was a huge possibility of surgery as soon as she was born. So we took the referral, and that was all done, said and done. I had to wait the entire weekend before I was contacted in order to arrange that ultrasound. So over the weekend, I will be honest with you guys, it wasn't easy. It's not easy when you don't know exactly what's going on. I feel like the worst part is not knowing, and I'm sorry guys, this is not gonna be, yeah. So I think the worst part was that I didn't know exactly what was going on. So I literally ended up crying myself to sleep and waking up crying. The only times I wasn't crying was when Angel was awake. So during the day I was fine, because I do have a lovely little girl who needs me, and yeah. So thankfully, thanks to this community, I actually had people I could reach out to, and they helped me a lot. I was able to find a group of mamas on Facebook who have children with heart problems from birth, congenital heart defects, etc. And I was able to get a lot of information from this group. I was able to understand what the diagnosis would mean. I was able to understand what the scan was telling us. There are so many possibilities at this stage. There's the possibility that it would be nothing, and there's the possibility that it could be everything. So currently I have an appointment next week on Thursday, so in a week's time, so that I can have an ultrasound done. They wanted baby's heart to be a bit bigger. They wanted her to grow a bit so that they could have a clear view of her heart and be able to give us a clear diagnosis and a clear idea of exactly what we're dealing with. And so that's going to happen next week. My midwife appointment yesterday, all they had to tell me was that they booked me an appointment with the obstetric team so that I could discuss the results from Thursday's scan with them. So that's on the Monday following that scan as well. And everything is just kind of, we're basically in limbo. We're basically caught in between. We don't know what it, like, how bad it could be. We don't know if it could be nothing. We just, all we know is, and this is I'm a very realistic person. I like kind of seeing the realistic point in everything and practical, and it helps me function. It's why when I found out more information about this, I felt better, because I had a clear idea of what this was and how to deal with it. So the realistic part of me, because when you're a mom, there's also that hope and that need for things to not be this way. So the realistic part of me says that it's not possible to have done 2 ultrasounds. Both of them have the same result. One was done by a sonographer who really had no idea what she was looking at. In all reality, she had that confirmed by a second tech at that point. Like, her own scans were looked at by that tech. The other sonographer who did my second scan also looked at the previous scans and then did her own, and again confirmed the same result. Both doctors confirmed the same result. Yeah? Yeah. I don't think that they could look at these pictures and see the same thing and there actually turn out that there was nothing there. So honestly, I'm going into the scan next week knowing that there will probably be something there. I just hope that whatever it is, it's something we can deal with, and I just hope that it's the best possible situation we could ask for. I don't feel like it's the most realistic thing to think that there'll be nothing. If that does happen, yeah, it will be like, oh my god. But I feel like it's better going into this knowing that there is the possibility of bad news, rather than going in like we did to the doctor's office initially, thinking everything was going to be fine, and then like we were just heartbroken. So I think I feel like it's just the best way to deal with it right now. It's how I'm dealing with it. I am trying to keep busy and not think. I don't want to overthink. I stopped researching. I stopped looking into anything. I did my research. I know the possibilities. So yeah, that's what's currently happening, guys. It's definitely not easy. And Angel's chatting in the background. It's not easy. Definitely not easy. And I have my little one over here to look after as well. So it's gonna, it means a lot of changes to come. It means that everything pretty much changes, which is what saddens me. And to think that you try so hard to have a baby, and when you do have that baby, these things can happen. It breaks my heart. And she wants to draw in my new book. That's great. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.